Yo, what up guys? Cali Kid here and welcome to episode 2 of AC Milan Rebuild. As you could see in the beginning, we're 4 points, I believe, maybe 5 behind number 1 Juventus. We're going on a pretty good streak right now. We 4-1 Genoa. We actually missed a penalty, so that could have been 5-1. But nonetheless, we got the 3 points, keep moving. So here we are in third, Lazio tied with us. Okay, back to the Europa League. We're actually playing Getafe right here. I put out one of my stronger squads, probably the strongest squad I can put out to try to secure the W. We do end up losing 2-1. Barco scores a goal for us. They do lose one player to injury, but it's never good to go down 2-1. Especially since I can't actually control any of the players. This is all simulated. But in the Serie A, we're still humming along. We got 2 from Bonaventura, 1 from Ibrahimovic. So we're keeping pace with Juventus right now. I'm kind of just hoping that someone else beats them so they drop points. I don't know if we can beat them. They have 31 to our 29. This is the first game we play against them, and we do end up losing. They got Timo Werner in this team. They were actually down one person since the 5th minute. We don't get the win, which is pretty bad. But I mean, just look at that bench: Rugani, Cuadrado, Danilo, Higuain, Douglas, Chiellini. You got Ronaldo, Warner, Dybala. Overall, their team is just a lot stronger than mine, and if we can't beat them when they're down one guy, I don't know if we can beat them when they're not down any guys. Now we just kind of have to hope that someone else can beat them, that they drop a game or two so we can catch up. But we also have to try not to drop a game ourselves, because if we drop any more games, it's probably assured that we're not going to catch them unless they have a huge slip up, or we play them another time, we do win and they lose again. I didn't check in the schedule to see if we did play them again, but we do have a big match against Napoli. They aren't that high up in the table right now, despite a pretty good attacking squad. Not sure why they aren't doing as good as I would expect them to be doing, but that might go to our advantage. So I'm putting out my strongest lineups right now, trying to make sure we win these games to keep pace with Juventus. Because if we lose a game, it's wraps. I'm forced to put out Duarte, but we do win the game 2-1. Insigne scores for them. Next in the Europa League, Trabzonspor. We get a big win, 4-1. 2 from Castillejo, Barco, Rebic. They lose 2 players actually now that I look at it, which is unlucky, but we get the win. We get the points, and we keep humming along. We're doing alright. It's looking like we spoiled our chance to catch Juventus. I'm just trying to finish in the top 4 to get Champions League football. And I'm trying to go all out for the Europa League so we can at least get 1 trophy. There is actually another trophy going on right now. We've got the Copa... I think it's Coppa Nazionale. It might be Coppa Italia that we still have to go through. That's another chance for a trophy, actually. But we would need someone to beat Juventus. I don't know if we can beat them, unless we meet them in the final and I can actually play. But if I can't, then it's just straight luck. Big win, Milan, Sassuolo, 4-0. get all of our guys on the scoring sheet except Traore and Rebic. They did miss a penalty, but it would have been 4-1 anyways. You would look at the latest scores. Juventus 6-1 Udinese. This isn't. It's not looking like anybody else is gonna beat them for us. So here we are. We get Parma. Not too difficult. Feeling pretty good about going up against them. We're not going up against any of the huge teams right now. We are 5 points behind Juventus. Again, it's not looking pretty good. So here we are, Milan, Parma, Coppia Nazionale. Pretty strong team out. Calabria, Romagnoli, Kier, Hernandez, Kessi, Bonaventura, Gusto, Traore, Suso, Barco. Should be enough to get the job done, and we do get the job done, 2-0. We try to do a big pickup mid-season, Joaquin Correa. But we just don't have the transfer budget for it. I try to throw an Ibrahimovic in there. It doesn't work out. It gets way too expensive. We can't cover it. We can't cover his wages. So we miss out on a really, really dynamic player who could get us a lot of goals. I think he was already within the top 5, I think, of goal scorers. Obviously, Ronaldo was number 1. He had some absurd amount already. Pretty much a goal every other game. But we do miss out on Correa, who is one of the younger players. Could have been big. Could have taken over for Rebic, because Rebic is actually here on loan. We don't actually have him under contract. But in a short amount of time, I have been able to turn a profit here in Milan. We're not bleeding money. The wages is still at a negative, but after this season, we're going to have a lot of players off our books. Mostly Ibrahimovic. He's one of those players that's taken a lot of money. But I think he's going to retire after this season. So we're going to be missing Rebic and Ibrahimovic. So we're actually going to need to dip into the transfers and make sure we pick up a good player to replace pretty much both of them, unless we can get Rebic on a good deal. But we'll see what happens. Okay, next round of the Coppa Nazionale, we unfortunately run into Juventus, which is pretty much the strongest team. I was hoping to run into one of the weaker teams and maybe avoid Juventus until the final, when I could control the team. Maybe that way I was able to get a result. I go to the press conference just to try to do anything to inspire the team. I get the team morale up a little bit. I was hoping maybe that would push them to, get the result we need. This is a 2-leg tournament, so we have 2 chances. We just really need to get off to a good start in this first game. If we don't do good, if we get blown out, then the second game is pretty much useless. It's pretty much over. And we're going to miss out on another trophy because it looks like the league trophy is pretty much theirs unless they just collapse. Which with the players they have, it's not going to happen. So we have to get a result here. I send out my strongest team, and it doesn't matter. This time they lose a player to injury, but with Timo Werner and Cristiano Ronaldo there, they're able to get 3 goals to my 1. So we dropped that game. In the round of 32 in the Europa League, we're doing okay. We got a couple big teams I would like to avoid. Sevilla actually has Arsenal down 3-1. We got Chelsea right there. Dortmund. They look like a really strong team. We got Porto right there, Roma as well. We got matched up against Wolfsburg, which is a good team, but it's not the high-end teams. It's not the Arsenal. It's not the Chelsea. And we get a decent result. On to the second leg. I am, of course, going to put out my strongest possible team. Unless, players are really, really tired. I switch out Romagnoli for Musacchio. Just because if he goes out there injured, it's going to be a liability if he's too slow. We got ASSE, who do manage to knock out Chelsea, Lazio, Manchester. So I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup. I'm feeling like, we got one of the easier teams. But that turns out to be that I way underestimated them. So we're actually down 1-0. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. They're up 1-0. They don't have to play aggressive. I put out my most aggressive lineup. The one that's gotten us this far. I put on good options on the bench that we can go to if need be. If we're down. If we have to throw players on and try to get a result. But I'm hoping my firepower can bail us out of this 1-0. They did beat Chelsea. They beat them 2-0 and then just held on to the lead. And we fumble it away. They score at the 105th minute to take the game. We did take them to overtime. We were doing good. And then at the 105th, they win it, so we get knocked out. We have another game against Juventus. So now we're out of the Europa League. We're out of the Serie A. We are out of the Italian. However, we did finish in the top 4, so we will have Champions League football. I'm going to get rid of some players. I have to strengthen the squad if we have any hope of challenging next season. I need to try to get some players off Juventus to weaken their squad. Or I need to get some players off Lazio. Find some players somewhere that can make a big difference. I don't know if I necessarily want to bring in more young players. But that's season 1 of the 3 seasons that I gave myself. And in season 1, we took a big L. We came out with no trophies whatsoever. We did finish in the top 4 of the league. but we didn't do much else besides that, and we're gonna lose a couple players. We're gonna lose Rebic, so I gotta find his replacement. But next episode, I'm gonna be dipping back into the transfers. I'm gonna be looking for players. I'm gonna be trying to see what I can build to challenge Juventus. I probably need at least one really, really good goal scorer to go up against Ronaldo and Timo Werner to keep up with them. But we'll see what happens in the next video, you guys. Peace.